You may be wondering, why am I being asked to do a training on cultural awareness? I signed up to be a sexual assault peer ed, not a cultural peer ed. Or perhaps you're thinking, what does culture have to do with alcohol safety or body image? Doesn't wellness surpass culture? Believe it or not, culture affects every one of these topics. As long as people are involved in a subject, culture is as well. Culture refers to a variety of identities, including race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, social class, ability, and many others. As a peer ed, you will be working with people from a variety of racial and cultural values. Understanding how culture impacts you and those around you will enable you to be more effective in reaching diverse audiences. Being a cultural competent educator requires understanding at these three levels. Knowledge refers to specific information pertinent to various cultures. This includes an understanding of history and socio-political systems in the USA and abroad. Awareness speaks to our own ability to reflect and understand our identities and the impact they have on our lives and those of those who are surrounded by us. For most of us, that includes an awareness of our privilege and ability to tolerate uncomfortable feelings that may arise when these issues are discussed. Multicultural skills refers to how we communicate our cultural competence. The ability to directly address issues of culture when they arise is an essential skill of multicultural competence. Take a few moments to read these statements. Pause the video and write down your responses. What surprised you about your answers? This is something you have thought a lot about, or did you find yourself realizing you've never given much thought to this before? What feelings came up for you as you wrote down your responses? How do you understand those emotions? For example, you may have been feeling nervous and worried that you'd say the wrong thing, annoyed that you're being asked to do this, or excited to have a chance to reflect. Whatever your reaction, it may provide you with some data about your own cultural development. Identities exist at multiple levels. Although many of us think about identities at the individual level, for example, I am a woman, we experience the world in a variety of ways. At the group level, for example, I may identify as a woman and a member of a sorority, part of the 61% of women at Towson, or the 50.79% of women in the United States. Oppression and discrimination can also happen at each of those levels. A person may be ostracized by an individual or oppressed and marginalized by a system. Isms also exist at each of these levels. An example may experience individual racism, for example, when a racial slur is expressed directly towards them, and a societal racism when they are denied a promotion due to their cultural background. Individuals are complex and exist in a world of intersections. None of us is made up of only our race, gender, class, ability, or religion, but of all of these intersections of each of these identities. Some identities may be more salient to us than others. Some are visible and others are invisible. Some are privileged and others marginalized. Some we are aware of and others are invisible even to ourselves. Today we will discuss different theories and ideas that people have about identity. For the moment, we are interested in seeing how each of you describes your racial identity. You will engage in an exercise that examines the factors which helped shape your sense of identity. Take a moment to complete the social identity wheel. The question of whom is prejudice and who is the oppressed is often at the root of debates regarding racism in particular. There is no question that every human being has the potential to be prejudiced against another. We all have biases and make judgments about people on a daily basis. Systemic power allows individuals, groups, organizations, and societies to inflict discrimination on all those without power. Discrimination, which includes isms such as racism, classism, heterosexism, colorism, etc., requires the presence of power. Power is determined by the level of influence of a group within a particular society. There are many ways identities not represented in this power line. In the U.S.A., it is generally white, middle class, upper class, male, Christian, heterosexual, gender normative, and body able. Individuals in this group above the teal line, therefore, have the ability to enact ism to those below the power line, while those below the power line have the potential to enact prejudice against those in power. Their societal position does not allow them to inflict the same degree of discrimination upon their counterparts. Take a moment and answer each of these questions. In summary, creating a community in which everyone's diversity is appreciated. Support of marginalized students include international students, students of color, students of low SES, students with disabilities, LGBTQ students, and students from various religious groups. If you have any remaining questions regarding anything regarding the Cultural Awareness module, please contact your supervisor.